Hi, welcome to Blue Flame Tarot. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today's reading is a timeless reading, meaning that it's for all signs, and for anyone who stumbles upon it or who finds it, that could be the right timing for the reading for you. If you enjoy the reading today, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Info for personal readings is in the description box below, and I hope you enjoyed the reading. I'm going to go ahead and get the cards down. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. The cards from here up are cards from what I refer to as your spiritual team, or some people refer to as guides. Messages from your guides and from the divine. So will be more of the big picture or the themes of what's going on in your life right now, or they may be weighing in on some situations that can be showing up in the lower cards. So the middle cards are the most emphasized, so I'm going to start there. So your central card is prosperity. So there can be a period of good luck, of achievement, of opportunities and potentials opening up for you. And they may be positioning you for that. It's directly a gift from the divine and your guides. It's coming right down from heaven, showering down. So it's something they're trying to align for you at this time. And the challenge is that we have a consciousness of lack. So if you can see the books that the foot is leaning on of that figure, that is notating to me that this is a lesson that this whoever this message is for, it's like a lesson that's been repeating through lifetimes. It's been kind of karmic looping. So there can be these challenges around negative thinking or, limited thinking around abundance and prosperity, or even vows or, different lifetimes where poverty was prevalent, or if poverty was prevalent in this lifetime. And so they're wanting to kind of break through this thinking that there isn't enough, okay, that there isn't enough for me, or, I better hurry up and save, I better, not that it's not wise to save, but I better put every dime away, because I may run out, I'm running out of this, I better store, so there's this kind of energy that is very restrictive and constrictive compared to the prosperity card, where there's this flow and this openness, okay? So they're wanting to kind of shift that energy. So one thing that you can do is affirmation videos around worthiness, around abundance. I like Power Thoughts Meditation Club for that, but you can find one that you like on YouTube. And then we have impasse, and this is the sacral chakra. So issues around sexuality and creativity. So in connection with prosperity, it's probably addressing issues of creativity, but there may be energies that need to be cleared out, which could be connected to sexual, past sexual energies, taking up this kind of space in the center of where we manifest. The reproductive area is like this, metaphorically and spiritually speaking, this area where we manifest and birth things, okay? So there can be a need to clear energies, but they're kind of giving you a pause to do that before they bring in this abundance. They're kind of giving you some time to get ready. And so for the sacral chakra, I like to just use black tourmaline, just placing it on the sacral chakra, which is the lower abdomen. But you could use other crystals, and you can look up sacral chakra crystals. I just like to start with, crystals that are and stones that we use for clearing. So that's why I like to use black tourmaline. And then once you work with that for a few weeks, you can switch over to something that's going to help to bring in that expansion and creativity, like with carnelian, for example. So you want to just lay down with the crystals on you for 10 minutes to 30 minutes every evening. And you can just combine it with sound healing from YouTube. You could use grounding and clearing music, or frequency music. But we want to break up the energies that are kind of blocking or standing in the way of this huge, abundance, flow of abundance that they want to bring in. And it could absolutely show up as a financial opportunity or some kind of financial increase. So they're trying to pave the way for that. And we have speed, so it could come fast. Like if you do the work on the sacral chakra, this can come in quite quickly. So it's not something where you're going to be waiting a long time, but you have to be in the moment. We have flow. It's like you've got to live in the moment, not keep looking back and not keep looking ahead, is what I'm getting. And be very conscious of working with your spiritual team. We have the magician here holding up this. I always say like the wand is like holding up a flare to your spiritual team. Letting them know that there's assistance needed to help co-create something, help bring something into the material plane. So it's something that we partner with our guides to bring in. Okay, and so we have the magician, which is a wonderful energy, and the divine is very proud. Your guides are like, yeah, I'm all about that. I'm all about bringing in these kind of potentials, opening doors for you that you couldn't open yourself, because I see that you have this passion and drive to manifest it, and I'm gonna put our energy behind it. Okay, so this is about birthing or making something really big come to pass, or possibly a new beginning and something you're very passionate about. And then we have animals. So it can be that there's a need to possibly do some guided meditations around the attributes of animals that you may need right now. I always say it's like in the seasons, not so much about having one spirit animal or whatever. So you could do some guided meditations, or there's plenty on YouTube that you can check out to see what you may need at this time. And we have hidden motivations. So part of the challenge is that someone is not comfortable just saying whatever it is that they really want. Okay? This card is like this woman is hiding the fact, in this particular case, and I'm not saying this is the case for the viewers necessarily, but it could be, that she's hiding the fact that she wants this kind of very normal life, quote unquote normal, very much domestic life, maybe is a better way of saying it, children in the background. That is her perception perhaps of happiness. But finding the need to cover that up because it's not really well received in the environment, possibly in a work environment or a home environment or in a relationship. And so there's this kind of masking the true desires. Now, sometimes that can be on the subconscious level, because we could have these kind of programs running where we feel certain things are more noble than others. Like we think that it's better to do this kind of job than that kind of job, or, whatever. And so we convince ourselves that those are the things that we want, or those are the things that we're trying to manifest. That's what we should be doing. But they're wanting you to get clear on what you want, because that helps your guides bring those things in if you're specific, so that what you get isn't vague. And we have a workaholic. So someone could be working, we have, what I like is these paintings. So being a workaholic with creative work. Okay. So it may be that they want you to get back into something that people said does not have any value, or like that's just a hobby. You shouldn't be spending so much time on that. And the hidden motivations could be, I just want to be an artist. I don't want to do all these other things. And, but everybody's telling me that that's not profitable, or I can't make money at it. And so I'm going to, and that's the throat chakra. So it's like not being able to speak your truth, or hiding or having to suppress that desire. Okay. And we actually do have the artist next. So literally someone who, your guides are saying you were made to create. And so the fact that it may be challenging for some people to put that into a financial context that's workable, or They want you to break away from that kind of thinking and understand that they can open potentials that we can't imagine, but it's getting into alignment with our purpose. And not everybody can understand what our purpose is, and they don't need to. So it may be about speaking up and saying, this is my truth. This is who I am. This is what I want to do, period. Okay. And we have frustration. So there could be a lot of frustration around, the people around you, projecting their own opinions, unwanted advice. And it's just draining to have to address it. And you're not somebody who's comfortable in the rat race. Not somebody who's comfortable in this environment of strife, drama, competition. There's a more sensitive, possibly empathic soul that is wanting to just create and express for the sake of it. And, or having to kind of always defend your ideas to people who may have ulterior motives. It's a competitive card. And we have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups, can be very creative. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or somebody operating in those energies. It could really be any sign, but operating in that watery energy of, a mystic or someone who's very psychic, someone who's very creative. And so it's hard for somebody like that sometimes to find their place in the world, but that's exactly who you're supposed to be. And so feeling like you need to change to fit into this kind of competitive environment or stressful environment is something extremely unnatural for this kind of energy. So it could be coming to terms with feeling comfortable in your own skin. And you better believe that your guides and the divine can have something planned where there's a profitable opportunity doing exactly what it is you're here to do. Okay, so not allowing others to get us off track. And we have forgiveness in the third line. So this is to just raise your frequency, to release this kind of weight. Okay, you can see that figure is just lighting up as they release, I would like to say. As they release, you see this brightening and brightening and brightening. So it's for our own sake that we forgive and release. Okay, and they're wanting to emphasize that, to bring that potential to you that, it's going to make things easier to manifest if you're not operating in lower frequencies. And we have commitment. So they could also be wanting to bring, if you're not in a relationship, they could be wanting to bring in a new potential. Someone who, wants the same thing is what I'm getting. They're super happy. There's a contract on that table that's all lit up and divinely lit up. So divinely guided partner who is, where do I sign up? Show me where to sign. Very, very enthusiastic. Okay. If this is a business related situation, very much someone who is looking to work with you, very eager to work with you. Okay. And definitely a divinely guided contact. And we have the third eye with gratitude. So making sure that our third eye is so critical. I always say to always work with amethyst on the third eye, even when it doesn't show up as a blockage, because it keeps the communication lines clear with our guides to speak to us. So when that is blocked from being busy and stressed out and doing too much of the wrong things, it's like our guides are up in the mountains with a cell phone trying to call us and there's no signal up there. So a few words may come through, but you're not going to get that clear flow of messages until they bring the car further down the mountain, closer in range. Okay, and that's when you're just doing the dishes and the messages will start to hit because there's this kind of, clear ability to channel those messages in. And so with the gratitude, it can be just being grateful for what you already have as this preparation for bigger and greater things. It's even being grateful for the opportunities that come your way, even if you decide not to take them. It's just thank you for opening the energies up. Thank you for working with me. I'm doing the work, but thank you for working alongside of me and assisting me. And we have peace. So you could be ushering in a period of peace. I think the peace comes from this realization of what it is that really makes you happy and what you want to do with that. Okay, so it's this artist wanting to, and this is a common story. My undergrad is in fine arts, so I can relate to this storyline, and I'm also a Cancer sun. Well, I have a lot of Cancer actually in my chart, but it's like this being at peace with who we are and not feeling pressure to have to put it into a mold we're uncomfortable with. I think a lot of artists can relate to the fact that sometimes we just want to, create for the sake of creating, and it really doesn't have any kind of price tag attached to it, or it doesn't have to be something useful. We just want to create it. Okay, so we have this kind of collaboration. So there can be these wonderful working partnerships, or there can be finding our soul tribe. Finding people who are like-minded, finding other people who had to kind of step out, take a leap of faith in terms of their creative potentials. And, with this, it's like these synchronized swimmers. I mean, those are people who are extremely aligned. So it can be a spiritual depth to it as well, especially with the water imagery, like this psychic and creative potentials kind of being married together with this very solid group. Okay. And we have the Page of Cups. So for sure, there could be a potential being birthed, okay, that is possibly a spiritual opportunity that may come in a small package, but despise not small beginnings. It could hold great potential, but something that would make you quite happy, or something that aligns with the sensitive or creative side of you. And we have a Queen of Wands. So that could be somebody who's bringing that potential or opportunity. Queen of Wands is quite inspiring, extremely powerful, in their light aspect. Well, in both aspects, but in their light aspect, it's quite inspiring. Highly creative, kind of a trailblazer, very energetic, very visionary, so they can be, your guides could be, well, you could be a fire sign, number one, because this is a reading for all signs. But it can be this coming together of a fire sign with a water sign, and it can be that the two sides balance each other, like have different strengths, and it may be a workable partnership. Or it could be that they want you to take on these two aspects, like the light aspect of the Queen of Wands and the light aspect of the Queen of Cups. So we're going to go ahead and move to the lower cards. So the lower cards, I did notice quite a few relationship-related cards. So it can be that it doesn't have to be love, but it could be, if that's something that's dominating the kind of narrative in your life at this time. We have Head Over Heart as the first card. So this, I think, has to do with this kind of creative energy, like we were talking about, struggling with feeling like we have to give up what we truly want to do with our art in order to be, surviving, or, making a living and putting food on the table. And so there's this head over heart. What our heart wants to do is not always in the forefront. It's like we've got to make practical decisions. And we have left behind. So if we're talking in terms of, it can be that you left behind gifts, talents, and abilities, or neglected your gifts because you felt you had to make practical decisions. And we have the nail, crucify. So almost putting it to death, or putting it aside for a season possibly. And it can be over emotional things going on, like it could have shut down somebody's desire to do creative work. And we have a tarot reading, someone who's gotten a tarot reading. So somebody may have gone to a reader or done a reading themselves to try to get some insight or direction in terms of their creative work, or what their soul purpose is, or what they should be doing. And we have flow again. So they're saying, there is this magic in being in the moment. There is this magic in not always looking back to the past and not looking forward too far. We have telepathy. So there can be a connection with somebody that is telepathic. So you're communicating, and it looks like it could be love related or interest. There's an interest, wondering if someone's thinking about them. But that could be a solid kind of spiritual connection that is quite otherworldly. And we have somebody working or dealing with the challenges of possibly past pain, needing to release some things, maybe not having the tools or not having the support system to do that. So I would encourage, if art or some form of creative expression, say music or whatever, theater, is some kind of movement, if that is something that is a nice tool for assisting you in releasing things, I would highly recommend getting back into that. And it is something that we tend to neglect as artists for some reason. You know, we need it, we should do it, but we don't always make the time for it. And we have fog, someone can't see through a situation. So somebody is like, either they keep going back and forth in their mind, or the conflict of having to survive is making it challenging for them to enjoy creative work because there's all these pressures. And so that's why I encourage you to do some focused work on what you want to manifest. You know, I do vision boards for like 3 months so that they're not too far out, because what I want could change a little bit and I don't want to have the whole year all the time. But it's like getting clear on what it is that you're trying to materialize. And part of that is first getting honest with what you need or what you're wanting, instead of what you think you should say. You know, like, oh, I want a promotion at work, but what you really may want is the opportunity to be self-employed and doing something creative. So it's like you can't see through a situation because you may not be facing some of that. And we have broken promises. Someone has broken or is about to break a promise. So it can be these emotional things distracting, you know, from this kind of self-care or this creative work. But it can also be that someone could have made a promise or a vow to kind of follow through with something, or to keep a job, you know, so that they're contributing to a household or whatever. And they, in order to step out and kind of live in their own truth, it's like they have to kind of break a promise to somebody that they may have made. And we have Tyrant, cruel oppressive ruler, uses force to control people. So that is definitely possibly someone that person is having to stand up to. Okay, it can be the person breaking the promise, but I think it's more of like a tough partner, not necessarily gender related with this, but some kind of tough partner that is the one who's pushing, who may not be a creative person, is pushing the other person into this kind of financial crunch, or, you know, saying, you know, you've got to make this amount of money, you can't do that, you know, creating. But the thing I want you to pay attention to is the skull, because it's like there's this ancestral pattern, you know, attracting in this kind of partners that we could say sabotage your potential, but what I really think is they come on the stage of our life to push us to overcome that. You know, it's not so much that we should just quit and say, oh yeah, you know, I surrender to what you want me to do. It's more that presents itself to bring the soul expansion and growth for you to push up against that and power through it. Okay, find a solution. And we have karma. Your or their time has come. So it may be even a karmic relationship, okay? Or, yeah, it may be a karmic relationship, meaning you're there to learn lessons. And that's not always a bad thing. You know, there can be things that can only be cleared by, you know, following through and overcoming that pattern. Yeah, and the lesson in this is standing up for yourself. So it's not about finding a different partner necessarily, although I don't have that confirmed yet with the other cards, but it's more that they're saying, you know, stand up for what you're wanting, or you know, be true to yourself, even if it's like this kind of tyrant. You know, that may be the competitor that you have to go up against and say, look, you know, this is what I want. And we have a tower, so that confrontation brings this kind of shakeup, but it's a divine shakeup. It's a shakeup that needs to happen. Okay, it's divinely guided. It's like we need to tear this building down to its foundation and build a proper structure. So there can be, you know, something that upsets somebody. You know, you say that this is what I really want to do. I want to be an actor, you know, say something like that. And they're like, what? No, you know, because, you know, there's something else that doesn't, you know, that is much more sure money, like, you know, an accountant or an attorney. And, but we have that it's not going to hurt you financially. Okay, we have the Ten of Pentacles. That's a lot of abundance. So it seems like it's going to be this big disaster, but in reality, something positive is coming through, but you have to see it through by pressing through the obstacles, okay? And then in the next line, we have the crumbling foundations, a house built on sand. Okay, so it may be that regardless, this needs to happen. This foundation kind of needs to crumble in order for the building to be properly rebuilt. And we have heart overhead this time. So, so the foundation can crumble, but it's as a result of listening to the heart and not just kind of, you know, making a decision that goes against what the heart wants. And we have songs, information. So I would listen to, you know, listen to music. Sometimes I'm in Starbucks or something and this song comes on and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a message. So be open to getting messages from your guides, okay, of what they're wanting to present to you. We have romantic thoughts, having romantic thoughts about you. So, you know, if this other relationship was not a love relationship, but a parent or a roommate or something, this can be a romantic potential that somebody is wanting to come in, but maybe a foundation if there's a relationship that needs to kind of complete. If it was a karmic relationship to learn lessons and then it kind of ran its course, there may be somebody new coming in who's quite romantic. Look at this. Very romantic, very tender, very gentle kind of energy, beautiful energy. And it's two people who have a unified soul purpose. So powerful connection. And we have gamble. So the situation requires you to take a risk. So they may not be the safest bet, or there may be something attached to this person that requires you to, you know, really step out in faith. And so they're giving you a heads up. Yeah, and I feel like there's some past, I don't know, I feel like this is past people. Like we have sketchy, there's something off about them. So it's almost like a paranoia. See how she's like watching and it's like stalking and saying, oh my God, like, you know, overdoing it. But it can be these kind of past things leaking in is what I'm getting. I'm not getting that it's about this new tender person. We have always drunk. So be careful about creating with negative thought patterns from the past. Like you go out with this person and they have a few drinks and you're like, oh my gosh, they're, you know, maybe they're an alcoholic, you know, or something like that. Oh my gosh, you know, they were on their phone outside and they look suspicious, you know, it's kind of sketchy, you know. I'm getting to kind of, you know, evaluate that and maybe take a closer look at yourself if there's some stuff that needs to heal or clear possibly. You're presenting as, you know, this stable person who has their shit together. Okay. And we have past life karma. We have past life karma coming with justice. Wow. So it can be that the past situation is going to close out. You know, it was a karmic cycle that's coming to an end. I do think that they're kind of teasing you with a new romantic potential that could be quite lovely. But if you drag in energies from this past relationship that was very karmic, it's going to poison the new situation. And with the Justice card, you know, that could definitely be that a divorce takes place or there's a separation. It can be a Libra also in the situation. Or there's going to be things made fair and balanced. Like there could even be, say, a karmic payback or payout for completing cycles or for, you know, good karma. Like you get this kind of blessing for going about things the right way. Something like that, or for challenges that you had to go through that were unfair. They're making things fair and balanced for you, your guides. And there's going to be a period of healing. So take the time to heal maybe before rushing into anything too serious with a new partner. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. So there's lessons to be learned. It's like the Seven of Pentacles is stopping and pausing, maybe in this period of healing, to take a look at how you invest and evaluate the situation. Like, you know, I'm always the one who's giving. That's what the Seven of Pentacles is for me. It's like over giving. I give 6 pentacles, you give me 1. That's an unfair balance or exchange of give and take. And I want to change that. I want there to be 50-50. Okay, so there could be, in this kind of time of reflection, if you don't rush into something else too quickly, this necessary evaluation of what you learned from that situation, and clearing those energies so it doesn't repeat. And our last line, we have a divine masculine. So that person, that romantic person, can be that divine masculine, but it can be that you just meet them first, and they're saying to maybe, like, they want you to get excited, but they want you to take some time to possibly heal first. With the soul purpose in alignment, I'm willing to bet that it has to do with some kind of creative work. So they may be, you know, or they're supportive of it. You know, they have their own thing going on, and it's like they like that kind of aspect of you, that you're creative or an artist. And we have reflection. So you guys are mirroring each other, but it can be in a very positive way. Okay. And we have ladybug. It's like good luck. So things get into alignment, and all of a sudden it seems like everything is lucky because you're where you need to be. And it's creating this kind of energy for these really exciting things to come into your life from this higher frequency. And we have lack, rebellion, and pessimism. So be careful to not get back into that lack thinking, or to, you know, be sarcastic or pessimistic about things. You know, be more open to seeing other people's viewpoints. Be more open to the fact that you could have misread something, and somebody may not have meant this negative thing that you perceived. And we have performer, entertainment industry. So they could be, your guides could be preparing you to step on a stage, you know, not necessarily literally, but to step onto some kind of platform, or to kind of be seen and heard. And so they may be preparing you for that, and they're just, you know, laying some groundwork. And we have confusion and conflict may be going on at this time. So there could be a bit of an overwhelm if you start to get stretched and you have to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. But there is this possible moving, leaving something behind, or just, you know, a job that requires relocation or travel. And you may be confused about it. You're not sure if you want to do it. Yeah, and we have runner. It's like trying to run away or being scared. Okay. And we have manifesting, using the law of attraction, calling in your desires and wishes. So you manifest this. You know, you manifest it, and then you're kind of like, I'm scared. I'm not sure I'm ready for that, you know. But they're saying, no, you're ready. You know, you called it in, and here it is. And we have the grass looks greener because it's artificial. So just be careful, because once you're really succeeding, somebody may want to come back in. That's the message I'm getting from that, which is just I'm focusing more on the figures. It's like somebody who could have dismissed you, but now that you're doing well, or there's these new potentials, and they see these exciting things going on in your life, they want to re-enter the scene. But it may not be honest motives. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, we have war-minded militant. So they come in, you know, trying, it's the Tyrant is what I think. Trying to show this kind of, trying to mimic this energy. Okay? Trying to mimic this energy, but it's artificial. It's like they're not able to do that. There's another motive there. Really, they're a war-minded militant or a tyrant who has to always win, or has to beat you, or they may be competing with you. And their energy being in your environment starts to immediately create self-judgment, because they don't see you as being good enough, okay? Or they don't see you, they're still criticizing you or telling you how you need to improve. Be careful of that. Yeah, Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles, you know, honestly, fours are stability. Okay, so it can be your finances are stable, but you're not like rolling in the bucks yet. But it can also be that you get this like, you take a leap of faith and you get this momentum, and then it's kind of like, it's like you stay in this limiting space, or, the Four of Pentacles, a lot of people read as a miser card. So it's like clinging to your money, being scared to take a leap of faith or take a risk. Okay, so this person may plant in you the idea that you shouldn't do that. It's not a sure thing, which was the same energy that was judging decisions around doing a creative potential. And we have the Magician and the Ace of Pentacles. So not much need or reason to worry there. But you see how this person tries to come in and convince you that that's not the right thing to do, that, you're going to starve, you're not going to have enough money. And it's like having the confidence to say, no, I'm not just at the whim of the universe. I help to create my reality through my thoughts and through my words. And I am going to use that ability to connect with my team, to connect with the divine, to co-create my reality that I'm wanting. And I can create that script with my guides. Okay, and it includes prosperity. It leaves behind these messages of lack, mentality of lack, and it's overcoming that mindset, overcoming the starving artist mindset, so that you can bring in this kind of abundance. The divine is backing an idea, or there can be this, the divine uses somebody to finance something for you, to finance a dream for you, this kind of energy. So being careful. So by releasing that kind of tyrant energy, we have the loving man and the outgoing energies. See, that's the divinely guided man. Okay, showing up right. And so not literally gender, I'm not talking, but, it can be this kind of energy of an ideal partnership that, your guides may be trying to, do a little matchmaking possibly, and bringing people together, because we have this energy of the divine masculine and divine feminine coming together. They're already tattooed. It's like they belong together. So it's really a kind of a beautiful energy of this kind of new person trying to come in possibly. But there is a need to kind of clear some of these past energies out. I'm going to stop there. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I'll see you next time.